Hello, welcome to Almost Cult Catch. Cut it. Hello, and welcome to Almost Cult Classics, the podcast Sidetracks edition. My name is Joe Ramoni. I'm joined by my friend and co-host Ryan Lancello.
Howdy, folks.
Ryan, last time on Sidetracks, we talked about your experience meeting Vin Diesel.
Great time.
And what did Vin Diesel say to you when you handed him the pen and paper?
Cap off.
Vin Diesel wanted the cap off. I wish you would remember if you took the cap off or not.
I wish I have to imagine. I was thinking about this. I had to have taken it off, right?
Yeah.
I'm a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math too. I was 14, I believe.
Yeah, I actually Googled
when the X Games were.
Well, yeah, and I was trying to I wish someone had a picture of him in that fucking tank top with the.
Dude, I'm glad the way the picture you put up is fairly accurate. But dude, he had the tank top. It was a red. It looked
Triple
cheap.
X branded.
A red
tank
Triple
top.
X.
Yeah.
I had to have taken it off. Okay, Mr. Diesel.
Yeah.
Which someone told me his real name. It's not even
it's probably
it's so generic.
Yeah.
Which I'll give him credit for changing
Diesel.
it. And he's a twin, but
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I had to have taken it off.
That was an episode that we were going to do just for Patreon. That I decided to put out for free because it was just so goddamn funny. And I wanted to do the same thing with a story that I have. I've been racking my brain about an awkward celebrity encounter that I have, and I've had many over the years, but I really wanted to think about what's the longest and most cringy.
It's really good.
And you know a little bit about it, so I want to talk about the time I went to visit the Three Stooges Convention. It's a bit of a tale, but I'm going to lay it all out for the first time. I had a very interesting experience with the Three Stooges film in 2012 when I was in college, being that, I don't know if you remember this, when the trailer for that movie came out, people were not happy, and it was just like a stupid thing
like
to be.
Stooge fans?
I don't even think Stooge fans, just like people who are like anti remake, that people who love the Rape My Childhood campaign.
Oh, sure.
Like a lot of that was happening, and you know me.
People got to let go of their nostalgia. It's such a deadly.
Well, even I don't think anyone really had nostalgia for the Three Stooges.
Right.
I think people knew it existed.
What are you getting angry about? Everyone just wants to be angry.
I'm a huge Stooges fan. I followed them for most of my childhood, and
Joe's favorite curly was Joe Besser.
He's not a curly. He's his own person.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
He played.
No.
Oh, it's not a curly character.
What are you talking about?
Like when Joe Besser was the third.
He's Joe.
Oh my God! It's Larry, Moe, and Joe.
Correct.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and then Curly Joe is next.
Oh my God! I just figured that was the curly character.
No, he was.
Oh wow!
He's Joe.
Holy shit!
Moe, Larry, and Joe.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, Moe Howard was someone that wanted to keep the act going. I mean, he even almost had Larry replaced towards the end. So.
By the way, I really thought it was interesting. I did not know having Mantan Moreland in there. That would have been
great.
That would have been so fucking interesting.
Moe Howard wanted to replace his brother Shemp with a black comedian named Mantan Moreland, who I think that would have been
so cool.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so awesome. Just imagine, they obviously already have a legacy.
Yeah,
that would have
really put them.
Wow, that would have been so. I'll give him credit for even entertaining the thought.
Well, because he knew we have to go different. We can't do the same shit.
God bless him.
But anyway, so when the Stooges movie was coming out, a lot of people were. I always thought that if Moe Howard was around, he would have sanctioned it. He would have been okay with it because he wanted to keep the brand going. He didn't care about raping a childhood or anything like that.
Not only that, it's the Stooges.
It's the Three Stooges.
It's about fun.
It's three guys hitting each other.
Right.
So the trailer comes out and the movie gets a lot of backlash. At the time, Christine Montopoulos, I guess, had gotten on Twitter solely to promote the movie, and he had maybe 1,000 followers, if that.
Wow.
And because even today he's not super well known. He's a great actor, but at the time it was you can tell they went for guys who could do the Stooges well rather than big name celebrities. So I figured I know if he was interacting with a lot of fans, and I said, here's my shot. So I went on a blog site, whatever free blog site you can have, and I wrote a letter basically saying everything I just said. I think Moe Howard would have loved the ideas. I think what you're doing is cool. I would love for you to let the Farrelly brothers know that here's one fan that'll be seeing the movie. And lo and behold, he ends up sending it to Peter Farrelly, who invites me to the fucking premiere. That premiere was on a Saturday. That was a Tuesday. I flew out. Me and my 20-year-old self, I think I was 19 at the time, actually, had to get my little suit jacket from Kohl's department store. And
for your big Hollywood premiere.
Big Hollywood premiere, walking the red carpet and shaking hands and getting to know people. And it was just a really great experience. They were really nice to me for being a 19-year-old kid.
Did you meet all the guys?
I met all the guys.
Like Sasso and
Sasso. They were all super nice to me.
What's his name?
Sean Hayes.
Thank you. Who I think is funny.
But at the time, me being the naive kid I was like, well, my foot's in the door. Me and these guys, the sequel, we'll be hanging out. This is going to be great. I'm going to get in touch with them. They know me now. I'm an insider. I was giving out business cards, smoking cigars. No, I wasn't doing the cigars, but I was giving out business cards with my fucking Temple University email on them.
All right.
So that
why not?
Hey, look,
what'd you have to lose?
You're right. But I shot my shot, and that was it. You know, I mean, things kind of quieted down. There was talk of doing more Stooges movies that didn't really happen. Cut to about 4 years later, I'm sitting there and I had the idea, like, yeah, you know what? That'd be fun if they would make like new Stooges shorts to like show before kids' movies or something, like how they originally did short subjects. They would show before.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
But they would show them before the movie.
But
it was
even
like,
with those three guys, like
that was my
couple
philosophy.
6-minute shorts or something.
So
I mean, what was the average length of a Stooge short?
About like 15 to 17 minutes.
Okay,
but you could tighten it up.
8 minutes.
Yeah. So I said that as much in an email to the guys who own the Three Stooges brand, who they're C3 Entertainment. Believe it or not, most of C3 Entertainment is made up of Curly Joe Dorita's family because there was a lawsuit and they ended up, most family relinquished their voting rights for the franchise. It's a crazy story in itself.
Sure.
But essentially, Curly Joe's stepsons run the Stooges brand now. And I sent him an email and basically just said that, hey, have you ever considered thinking that, you know, here's me and my bright idea, and I'm 24 at this point around then, and a producer from the company emails me back and starts to talk to me and was like, yeah, we'll get on the phone, we'll connect. And I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be great. I ended up talking to the guy who lays out their entire, the vision of Stooge projects to come. They were doing an animated series, a sequel to the 2012 movie. There was going to be a movie called The Little Three Stooges about them as kids. They had these big plans, big brand expansion.
Sure.
And I was just like, yeah, I would love to be involved. Here's who I am. I love the Stooges. And they were super receptive, super friendly. And this leads to the fact that maybe a couple months after that, there's a Three Stooges Convention happening in Trevose. Do you know much about Trevose?
Trevose, Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I don't know what reason they had it in Trevose.
Is that in Central?
It's like
North?
Northeast.
Northeast.
Doesn't make a fucking shred of sense why the Three Stooges Convention is in Northeast Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia for that matter.
Yeah, but Trevose. Not that it's like I think it's just kind of, there's a town there.
Dude, it's like a strip malls and motels.
Yeah,
it's not like,
right.
The Three Stooges Museum is out that way, but it's not like.
Well, there you go.
But it was not associated with the convention.
Well, at least it was close. Is it close to New York?
No, it's
Northeast.
30 minutes from here.
Oh God, that's not close at all.
No, it was dumb. But I see it's happening, and I see attending the convention will be Christine Montopoulos and Will Sasso and this producer I'd been schmoozing with on the email. So I'm like, You know what? I'm going to buy the VIP package. I'm going to go to the convention. I'm going to network. I'm going to pitch my Three Stooges movie sequel idea. This is going to be great. So at the time, the convention is about 45 minutes from where I lived. So I drive up there, and I get to see the guys again. But it was not the reunion I was hoping for. And they were like, oh, hey, Joe, what's up there? I was kind of like, oh, the kid that came to the premiere. We remember you. It wasn't anything like, but I was so convinced myself that I was going to leave this convention with legit Hollywood deals. This was make or break at this point in my life. So I end up getting a fucking room at the hotel because I'm not leaving.
Youth.
I am staying the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to the bar. I'm here. I got a fucking hotel room here at the convention. And I remember at one point, I called the front desk and was like, yes, can I be connected to the Dematopoulos room? I remember leaving a message yes, Chris, this is Joe Ramone calling. I would love to talk to you about some Stooges ideas I have. I think it'd be fun. Later did I find out that the fucking cast members are staying at the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Philadelphia. Of course they're not staying at the fucking Holiday Inn in Trevose, Pennsylvania.
Of course.
But I still shot my shot there.
Oh, my God.
And my friend Justin, you know Justin.
Sure.
Justin, for whatever reason, I had been talking to him, and he was like, yeah, what are you doing tonight? You want to grab dinner? And I'm like, yeah, can you pick me up at this Holiday Inn? And I gave him the address. And I'll never forget, I got in this car, and he just sighed and went, as soon as I saw a Three Stooges Convention on the sign outside, I said, it all makes sense. Like, leading up to it, I was like, why am I picking him up at a Holiday Inn in Trevose? Right. Like, I on the banner at the hotel, the Three Stooges Convention. So we go to dinner. He comes back with me, and like I'm telling him like, dude, this is it. Like, I'm not leaving this convention without some deals.
Man.
And he's like, dude, this is insane, dude.
He's a fairly realistic
guy. I'm
introducing
him to the guys. Like, it's my friend Justin, and they're like in the hotel bar. There's a banquet going on or some shit, and at one point they start an auction for a walk-on role in the Three Little Stooges movie. And the bidding is like going up like $50. And again, I'm living at home at this time.
Oh, God. I'm worried how this story ends.
I'm living at home at this time, and I'm like, it's like hitting like $450. I'm like, you know what? I could do it. I'll pull the trigger. I'll go be in the movie, and I'll network. It'll be great.
Yeah, you could have been young Shemp.
And Justin is like, dude, do not fucking bid on this. He's like, this movie's never going to happen. And I'm like, no, dude, this is legit. Like, they're auctioning off a part in the Three Little Stooges with their kids. Dude, it's great. And he like had to stop me from bidding on it.
So you didn't at all?
I did not bid on it.
God, thank God bless you, Justin.
Of course, the fucking movie never gets made.
Never happened.
None of the shit that they were talking about then. And I got as much slack on my Three Stooges movie video where people were like, dude, it was a success. They're making a sequel. You're just stupid. I'm like, they're not. C3 is the company that owns that brand. They do not know how to manage that brand.
I think we talked about this a little bit in the Wise Guys episode. How just because something makes money doesn't mean it's a success. Did that movie even make money?
No, and the thing
Did
about
it break even? Technically, because my thing, Hollywood accounting is it's a fugazi.
As far as I know. So here's the thing with the Stooges. Again, here's the pieces you need to have.
What are we talking about? Just Stooges in general, or the fairly
Three Stooges? Here you go. To make a Three Stooges movie, you have to get the permission from the brand. Mm-hmm. That's C3. That's Curly Joe Dorita's stepsons. They own the brand. You have to get the rights to the shorts. Stepsons. That's fucking Columbia. Sony Pictures owns the shorts. Then you have to find a studio that wants to make the goddamn movie. In the 2012 movie, it was Fox. Fox made the movie.
Sure.
When you remove Fox from the equation, you lose your funding. So you have to they fucking crowdfunded the Three Little Stooges. Never happened.
Was that supposed to be a cartoon or a live
action?
No,
a fucking real movie. It was about the Three Stooges as kids.
Oh.
They casted it. Dude, they made pitches for it. It's you can go look. You can go down that wormhole, and it's embarrassing how they try to milk that fucking brand for more money.
Do you remember the final bid?
It ended up like $900. But at that point, I was still like, and you know who got it?
Of course you were.
Curly's grandson.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then
who they would have put in the movie anyway.
Wait, Curly Joe Dorita or Curly?
No, Curly's grandson.
Oh, the real Curly.
Yeah, real Curly.
They would have just put him in the movie.
But me, on the other hand, and that might have been it, dude. They might have just needed that extra little push to get the movie made.
You could have got it done.
But so I didn't bid. So my
God bless Justin.
That was my I guess third shot at that point that fell through. But I'm staying the night. So you know what? Tomorrow morning is a new dawn.
Was there another day of the convention?
There's another day at the convention. Okay. So this is so embarrassing. So it starts hailing, dude. The size of like fucking golf balls hailing down at the fucking Trevose, Pennsylvania. And like Justin and I are sitting in this lobby having a couple of drinks. And this woman who's also at maybe about like 50 years old, she's hanging out, having a glass of wine. We start talking to her. It turns out she's from like Chicago or something, but there's like a good like Bone Marrow hospital in Trevose where her daughter is. And today her ex-husband showed up. And eventually Justin's like, I've had enough of this. I'm leaving. And he leaves me. And this woman starts coming on to me hard. Like, especially because she knows I have a room there. It was like, and I'm like 22 at this point. And I'll never forget.
You may have said 24 earlier.
It was 2000.
You're in that range.
And 14, so I was about
22, 24, somewhere in there.
But I'll never forget, before I went to bed, I was like,
and it's not like me and you were,
No.
So, you know.
Dude, and this woman had like a few glasses of wine already. She was tipsy.
Now, I'm very handsome. Joe is also a pretty good-looking guy.
Well, thank you.
but we also looked youthful when we were
At the time.
22, 24.
Also, youthful in Trevose, Pennsylvania, which was a whole nother.
Not only that, I think we've both been in that scenario where a middle-aged woman they get a little tipsy, and all of a sudden they're driving hard down the lane.
Yeah, and that was the case here. And I think Justin had the good foresight to be like, "This is a weird situation. Three Stooges Convention. I'm out of here." By the way,
I always liked Shemp.
By the way, she wasn't there for the fucking convention.
I know, the Bone Marrow. Yeah,
but fucking Adam West was there too. By the way,
was he?
Yeah, he was in a movie with them. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
He was in Badass.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh wow, it's awesome.
And he plays a very funny role in it.
He's a good.
I gotta recommend that Mario Van Peebles.
Badass. But I just she kept asking me my favorite movies. I'm like, I would love to know more about you. And I just remember at the end of the night, I was like, because I'm here to network. I have business cards. I'm going to give her a business card and shake her hand, and that'll be it. I have my little business cards from Staples printed up. And
oh, man.
I shook her hand.
I got mine from Vistaprint.
I shook her hand, and it was like that hold with the eye gaze. I got one of those.
And that, a little too long?
And that's where I was like, ooh. So I went to bed. The next morning, I wake up refreshed. Here I am.
And she was next to you.
She was gone. Probably at the Bone Marrow Hospital.
Oh, my God.
Where she was. Or it might have been Bone Marrow.
I know the listeners are probably like, oh, he didn't fuck her.
This is not a story where anyone wins. Except the legacy of the Three Stooges.
Well, hopefully it all worked out with the Bone Marrow thing.
Yeah, if you're listening. If you kept my business card, you've been following my adventures on the internet. So... it's the next morning I wake up and...
You woke up with a little that morning realization?
Well, it was like at this point, I'm like, this is Sunday. The convention's over. I've done nothing of noteworthy. Nothing has gone right.
I have to... I imagine a lot of our listeners they want to work in film, blah, blah. Man, there's you get some of those days where there's that hard reality that hits you.
So you're like, this is not... And not only that, dude, even if I had fucking come out as the toast of the Three Stooges convention... None of this shit happened.
Right,
none of it
out
ever got
anyway.
made. Although they like to tell me that in the YouTube comments. I'm wrong, apparently. There's going to be a trilogy of Three Stooges movies that are going to happen.
But please.
9 years after the fact.
You wake up the Sunday morning.
I wake up and I go down the lobby and Will Sasso and Christy Mantopoulos had just arrived in their luxury car from the Ritz-Carlton in Philadelphia. And I'm like, all right. I know Will Sasso likes John Candy. Maybe I can talk about John Candy documentary. He's friends with the family. So I go up to Will Sasso, who I guess had missed breakfast because he's eating a plate of scrambled eggs and sausage. And I say, hey, Will. I'm
sorry.
I'm on a first name basis with him at this point.
Yeah.
Hey there, Will. I've been trying to pitch around town this idea
around Trevose. I'm sure he cannot wait to be pitched in Trevose, Pennsylvania.
While he's just trying to eat his breakfast, go to a panel, and get the fuck back home. Mm-hmm. He wants to talk to fans about John Candy. So I mentioned that, that Chris Farley documentary. He had been in the
No. Start over.
What?
I'm pitching all around town with my
agent.
agent.
I've been trying to pitch. I got an agent. We're working on this deal where we're trying to pitch a documentary on John Candy, like the Chris Farley documentary that you were in. And I know you're friends with the family. Do you think that's something they'd be interested in? He just goes, I don't think so.
Good for him.
And I'm like, oh, he's like, they're just not. They're like very protective of their dad. I just don't think they'd be into it.
Good. That's good for him. He gave you the correct dose of reality.
Again, I'm not done. I tell the man that I've been in talks with...
You're in talks with fucking Samuel Mayer and fucking...
I told him that... So, I don't know if you know this, but John Candy owned the Toronto Argonauts for a season. They won the Grey Cup.
I think I've heard that. Are they
They're the Toronto football team.
Right.
And he owned them for a season. They won the Grey Cup. It's a very inspirational story. Schmoozy Disney movie. Like Cool Runnings almost. It would be like that. And I always thought they would make... I know fuck all about football, but I told Will that me and my writing partner were trying to sell a Disney sports movie about John Candy. Dude, I was just like... anything. I was just trying for someone to take the bait.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, you're a writer. Well, actually, I know fuck all about you as a person, and you were in Trevis, Pennsylvania, but you seem like a great screenwriter, and I would love to hire you. I was just trying.
Look, I mean, there's so many stories of where it's that 1 in a million where it does work. Why
Well, 'cause you
not?
have to understand.
I am in no way will criticize you for this. You did the right thing in a way. You gotta take your shot.
fact that
not only that, you did have a bit of a rapport with these guys.
well, they knew who I was to an extent. I mean, they remembered that I was associated with that movie.
You
and
weren't just
I wasn't
just
like some kid.
convention person.
But that the fact that they invited me out to that fucking premiere as a fucking kid in my fucking Kohl's blazer, like
right, that's kind of
that was the peak.
That will make you think.
Yes,
right.
That was the problem, and I remember like emailing the Farrellys and like cringy shit. Like you just think that this is how you do it, and it's not. You have to get bumped down the reality to realize you got to work hard and do your own thing. Don't try to fucking get in with someone else. Don't lie. Don't. But
well, to a degree,
to an extent.
But there are channels.
Yes,
and once again, there is that we get warped by movies. And just those dumb not urban legends, but that 1 in a million.
I'm moving out west to make it in the pictures.
You're right. But there's always that story, too, of like, it happens, not so much anymore, I don't think. But like women, like you get noticed in the mall.
Yeah.
Like that's happened. Like where it's like all of a sudden you're a star, kid.
It was in Trevis, Pennsylvania. At the Three Stooges Convention.
Was it a Marriott or a Holiday Inn? I forget.
It was whatever the bottom tier fucking hotel chain is. That's what it was.
I don't think it was a Red Roof, but
just poor Will Sasso was eating the fucking continental breakfast
just trying to fucking eat. Where's Steamatopoulos?
So,
okay. Let me shut up.
I fucking strike out with Sasso.
So wait, he gives you a really honest.
Here's
the family don't really want to.
Here's where Will Sasso fucked up.
Oh.
When I approached Chris, because Chris was the one that made that premiere happen for me as a kid, and we bonded. We loved Mo. It was just it was, and
this is not to knock Will Sasso. I'm sure
not at all.
I'm sure he's a fine fellow.
No, it's I'm not saying.
But, am I saying his name wrong? Chris Steamatopoulos, right?
Steamatopoulos.
He seems like everything you
he's
told
a phenomenal guy.
What a fucking guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
What a great
great actor. He was so nice to me when I was a fucking 19-year-old kid.
I was so thrilled for him when he was playing Russ Hanneman on Silicon Valley.
It's a great role for him too.
I was so, and not only that, like everyone remembers that
from that.
He's so good, and the fact that he's a good guy, like I was just thrilled for him.
So,
I was really happy, and I knew that because of you.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy.
Right.
And when that whole thing happened, and I sent him that blog post, I had put my email at the end, so he ended up emailing me. Like he didn't even reply to the tweet; he emailed me personally. And I'll never forget, he signed he said my name in the email, but he spelled it Joe Ra -M-O-E, Moni. He used Mo's name in the middle. And for me, it was like...
Very cool. Very cute. Very cool. Yeah.
So when I saw him...
He took the time to
know my name, know how it was spelled. I went up to him and I said, I don't know if you remember me, it's Joe Ramoni. And he knew. He pulled me in, he hugged me. How you doing? You're here. That's great. And... that was just, I bumped into him like walking in the hallway there. So they had their own little room. And by the way, signing autographs for free. They were taking pictures for free. They were great. So when I went into the room to meet them, Chris was like, well, do you remember Joe? He came out to like explain the situation.
Did you already had your John Candy thing with?
No, this was prior to that. This is what I'm saying. This is where Will fucked up in the extent that he gave me a window by just being nice. That's what I was saying.
See, it's so. This is where we were talking about. I was shitting on Seth Rogen on the Wise Guys podcast. How he was talking about how hard it is to be an actor, but there is that thing where it's like you got to deal with people, man, and like, how do you navigate that?
I called the Demontopoulos hotel room.
Yes.
I guess they did have hotel rooms, but it was just for them to get changed in between. So I'm going up to my room this is after I had met Chris and Will, before the John Candy thing. And Will was coming down the elevator, and the elevator door is open, and he makes eye contact with me, and he goes, hey, man, like, you're registered. I know you. We settled. How's it going? And I felt so bad. Some guy was like, I've seen you in things before, haven't I? Like, it was just so embarrassing.
What was the Lithgow thing?
Yeah, it was Lithgow. He's an actor. But like that moment to me was like,
what a miserable existence.
I've got my in with Sasso there. So that Will being a good guy, I took advantage of that because I was a kid and I was
sure. And you went there with a mission.
Correct.
Right.
Dude, I have a fucking script. You can read it. And the fact of the matter is,
You should throw that up on Patreon.
is that I'll gladly put it out. Legitimately, when I had talked to the guy who's since left the company, he was like, I would love to hear your ideas. Like, let's talk. Like, I was just like, I wanted the moon. I wanted all of it. I didn't want to fucking work from the bottom, and I wanted to write the Stooges sequels. I didn't want to fucking waste my time, So whatever.
So you're with the two of them in a room.
Will basically just told me that John Candy's family wants nothing to do with me, and I go find Chris, who is looking. They had a room that was just like a Three Stooges museum, old photos for you to look at. And I've talked about this scene before. There's one scene in the Three Stooges where all four of the original Stooges appear on screen together. It's Shemp, Curly makes a cameo, and they have a photo of it. And Chris is looking at it, and I just point to it, and I said, "I love that. I love this photo." And he was very nice. I was like, "Oh, I was watching this with my son," and he was like, "Is that Curly with hair? Great." And like, that happened. I was like, "Just let it go. Just."
It dawned on you.
Just what are you doing?
Enjoy this of you two just enjoying the Stooges
and
together.
Walk away from this fucking notion of
good for you.
I'm gonna fucking make it and it's the first time I've ever really talked about this story, but it was like a realization for me of that, like, they don't give a fuck about what you're gonna bring to this table here.
Why should they?
Yeah.
They got their own shit to
They've
bring.
got
got kids.
They've got their own writers. They've got their own fucking people. They don't.
But that's where I like that. That's a nice. You two kind of. You had a moment where you're looking at that picture, and it dawned on you.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what?
Did you want to ruin that moment with him?
No, of course not.
By pitching him.
Yeah, by pitching him. Hey, well, speaking of this,
but it would have. Yeah, it would have totally
ruined it.
And not only that, now you could probably see him again.
Yeah, I have no doubt that I could. The only thing I feel bad about is that one of my most viewed videos on YouTube is the Three Stooges Forgotten Failures, where I do shit on the movie quite a bit, but I'm also like pretty optimistic about it.
I don't think you were that bad.
Yeah.
You certainly don't shit on the guys.
No, not at all. And by the way, I encourage people to watch that movie solely because they were so nice to me, and they didn't have to be.
Not only that, I remember I've never seen it all the way through, but I think before work one time I had it on. It was just on TV. I put it on. And this was before you had told me some of this shit. And I was just like, I remember hearing how bad it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is all right. Like, it's a Stooge movie.
Yeah. What do you expect?
There's dumb shit, the sentimental shit I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, but
that's what the movie like tries to justify like why Mo has a bad feeling. It's just like when you start to do shit like that,
so
that's what you gotta
unnecessary.
check out.
So fucking
but
unnecessary.
the guys nail the parts for the most part. And they were super nice to me, both as a 19-year-old annoying fan and as a 24-year-old annoying fan. And I look back at that, and I'm like, you know what? If I could have gone back in time, I would have. But it's just like, you know what? I learned. I moved on. None of that shit ever happened, and it probably never will. Future projects for the Stooges. I think it's done. I only think there's so much you can squeeze the fucking milk out of the Stooges brand.
If they couldn't get it done with that one, I don't know.
Do a fucking biopic. I mean, that's what I always say.
I brought this up to you. We had a little months ago. I was drunk, and I was arguing.
Oh, the Mel Gibson?
Yeah, dude, he was trying to do. Mel Gibson's a enormous Stooge fan. He wanted to do it with Sean Penn, Jim Carrey, and somebody else. Oh, it might have been Chickless.
You're crossing the streams.
Oh, yeah, I am crossing the streams. Chickless did do a thing.
Yes.
No, but Mel Gibson wanted to do something.
Mel Gibson did the biopic.
No, he produced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to do
the Farrelly brothers originally cast Carrey, Del Toro, and Sean Penn.
Oh, that's
correct.
Well, who was Del Toro going to play?
Mo. That works. 100%.
He does kind of have a
oh my god, yeah,
that hard bitten look a little.
Oh my god, he looks just like him. Like when you look at him and
so
say
was
it,
Jim Carrey going to play fucking Larry?
Jim Carrey was going to get in weight and play Curly. Yeah, trust me.
I'm making a disgusted face. Who was the other one?
Sean Penn was going to play Larry.
Okay.
Which again,
if you watch Carlito's Way,
yeah. No, that was
Sean
the one.
Penn is such a fucking stupid asshole. He makes Carlito's Way.
The Carrey one's like the odd man out for that. Like I wasn't.
He would have been. First of all, he could never gain the weight.
Yeah.
To play Curly.
Again, Curly wasn't like
he wasn't obese.
He was like chubby.
I don't think a man of that frame could.
No.
That's weird. You can put on a fat suit or something. And I say fat, like you said, I say fat suit in the sense of to beef him up because Curly was not fat.
No.
He was stocky.
Yeah.
It's like Costanza.
Yeah. That'd have been good. He would have been a good Larry. I could see Jason Alexander as Larry.
Look, Jason Alexander, he's another one. I thought he was a good performer.
I always thought it should have been, and he's too old now, but David Paymer would have been a great Larry.
He would have been a great Larry.
Right? He's got the fucking look.
I always loved David Paymer.
Yeah.
What an underrated character actor.
We'll come to him at some point. If we have not? No, I guess we haven't. If you enjoyed this awkward tale of Three Stooges lore, we share a lot more like it on our Patreon at patreon.com/almostcultclassics. We love to talk about our awkward childhood memories, especially as it relates to film and movie theaters. We also continue the conversation going on all of our main episodes. So whenever we talk about a movie, we keep the mics rolling and pretty much put up like the next half hour on Patreon. So we always put out new content. There's a lot of back catalog on there you can find. So we would love your support. It's only $5, and it would mean a lot to us. But we appreciate you listening, and we will see you next time.